to Argue with a Cat is a self-help book about persuasion and uses examples linking to our furry friends who already rule the world, the cat. If I had to describe this book in one word, it would be proficient. Convincing another human to do something they already decided they don't want to do is one of the hardest things that you can do on this planet. Despite that, Jay Heinrichs puts it in a way that makes perfect logical sense and uses perspicuous examples to show how his principles work in the real world while keeping waffling to a minimum. I have been following this book since I read it about 2 months ago, and I can't help but admire my newfound confidence and the newfound trust that my peers have in me. So sit back, relax and enjoy as I summarize chapter by chapter how you can argue with a cat. The first chapter is practicing agreeability, or, as the cat would put it, the brilliant purr. Here's something that people on Twitter need to hear. An argument is not a fight to win against your opponent. It's to win over your opponent. Look, anyone who's actually been in a real fight knows that it sucks to lose, even in sparring, until you realise there's something to learn from the fight. So your opponent feels good because he just kicked your ass, and you feel not as shit because you learn for next time. And see, that's what it comes down to. A good argument is essentially where two parties come together, they have some conflict, and they leave with a solution that benefits both parties. In this example I just gave you, it's my poor fighting skills. In order to maintain a good argument, you need to be agreeable. This is also a fundamental principle in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, which means this book is backed up by good sources. But this is another review for a different day. If you want to think back to cats, if your cat pisses on the floor and you want to scream at him as much as possible, he don't care. He needs to piss, and that's the important point. He needs to piss. You don't want to mess. Get him a litter tray. That way, he has a better place to piss, because let's be honest, pissing on the floor is way less comfortable than pissing in a litter tray. I wouldn't know, I'm not a cat. And of course, you don't need to clear up. And bruv, show appreciation to the person you're arguing with. Like, I am so happy that you are watching this video right now, because now it means all this work I'm spending recording and editing is not gone to waste. It's gone to one person who is learning from me, who is listening to my opinion on this book. How does it feel knowing that I just said that? Are you more inclined to watch on? Are you more open to what I have to say? Are you gonna click off now because you can see right through my flattery? God, I need to work on this principle, I tell you something. Pounce like a predator. The art of stalking. Everyone knows during the heat of an argument, fists be flying. And these aren't arguments between just you and I. This happens all the time with professional journalists. So, it's important that everyone has a level head before they start arguing. If, let's say, you aren't able to change someone's mind about whatever your opinion is, you managed to change their mood. That's still changing their mind. Moral victory. And even if you can't change their mind about some things, who says it all has to be done in one sitting? Have multiple debates about the same topic. Duh. Bottom line is you cannot rush people's thoughts. It's not gonna happen. The change is gradual. Instead, what you can do is just say nothing. Be a listener. Listen to every word they have to say. Pay attention to the sound of each and every breath that comes from their mouth. Waiting. Stalking. And then BAM! You're wrong! But don't actually say you're wrong. You need reasoning, don't you? Diffuse anger, the toilet argument. As mentioned earlier, Jay Heinrichs thinks that arguing whilst angry is like doing your homework at a fun fair. However, let's be honest, people get vexed as a result of a disagreement. I'll give you an example. Let's say your sister followed Rule 10 of Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life and called you out on a habit that she doesn't like. What is the first thing that you're gonna do? Exactly, you're gonna deny it. You're gonna make excuses for it.
Oh, it's not that deep. Oh, why can't she just shut up? Oh, it was only the one time I left my washing downstairs and didn't bring it upstairs.
Oh my god, I need to go get my washing. Be right back. Oh, look at me winning this argument. Everybody sucks in this situation. Your sister's a prick because she was confrontational. I don't appreciate that. And you're a prick because you left your washing downstairs. Good job! So why don't you use the present to solve a past problem in the future? I'll give you an example. My cat, he ain't gonna meow if I feed him at 7 PM. He won't meow for the rest of the day. And I know this because I didn't feed him last week at 7 when he was meant to have his food. And I'm vexed because I want to record a video and he's meowing in the background. Again, if we think back to my washing, my sister can help me bring my washing upstairs so it doesn't stink and I'm not having any problems, or I can do it myself and excuse her of that burden. This chapter is mainly about not attacking a good person because of bad habits, but helping that good person attack the bad habits. Fit in with the clan, the box maneuver. This is a chapter about decorum, social norms, and adapting your social norms. Decorum is defined as behaviour that is socially acceptable, calm, polite, and expected. But socially acceptable to who? For example, I am always Sammy. I address my family and my friends as Sammy. But in front of the camera, I am the Sammy G. The Sammy G is my persona. The Sammy G is talking to you, the camera, like it's somebody who wants to listen to a commentator reviewing this book. I'm not going to address you like you're a maths tutor student or an engineering student like...
Well, if you take the moments across all these nodes of this book, you can use finite element analysis to conclude that the distribution matrix will conclude that this is a good book, and all of that will link to the coefficient of...
Yeah, no one wants to listen to that. I want to be here, and I want to show you that I want to be here reviewing this book. I don't want to try too hard, because that sounds fake. That will dissuade you from listening to my opinion on this book. I want to purr like a cat. I want to show you that I am enjoying this conversation. Maybe that's why so many uni students are so trash at presentations. They couldn't care less about the work, nor did they contribute any. The author recommends that you should act like your environment. Because I'm acting like someone who should be in front of a camera, no, I'm acting as someone who should be in front of an audience. That audience feels that I am one of them, so therefore they are more likely to listen to me. Unloyalty, the virtuous scratch. You are more likely to listen to someone who is more reputable than someone who isn't. If a random stranger told you what to do in the streets, told you what your ambitions were, you tell them to go fuck themselves. But if it's someone who you admire, who you trust, who was there for you on those winter afternoons when you had a blank Word document and you had nothing to write, they are more likely to listen to what you have to say. Of course, you can be completely wrong. Like, think about that one teacher at school, that like one really chill teacher who teaches you really well. Like, he explains it in such a way that makes perfect logical sense, but he gets one wrong. Oh well, he tried, and you know he tried. He had your best interest at heart. It's the same with parents. You do what your parents say. It doesn't go the way you want, but it's like, alright, you know it's your parents, so they want what's best for you. But if it's that one dumbass teacher who doesn't even explain stuff well and they get mad at you for not understanding his dead lecture, then of course you're going to be more bitter and resentful when his answers are wrong. Heinrichs explains that building a relationship through trust and honesty is the best way to persuade someone. And if it's a stranger you're trying to engage with, you need to convince them that you have the right solution and that it works. Argue logically, the deductive mousetrap.
But what do I I say to persuade someone to do what I want? How do I convince people that I am right?
Read the book. No, don't worry, I'm not being hostile. That's actually the example I'm using. You need a reason to do something. Your reason is you want to learn how to persuade people and how to talk to people. Your solution is reading the book. This works in reverse as well. You need to read this book. Why? To learn how to persuade and talk to people. The point is, people need a reason to do things. But people are idiots! They've already decided how they want to think. So, give them the power. What is my objective, fundamentally? I want you to like this video, subscribe and turn off the notifications. And join my Discord server. Why not? Why haven't you done all those things? Do you think my videos are boring? Okay, leave a comment. Tell me how I can be better as a creator. You don't like how this video is edited? Okay, check out last week's video. See if that one's for you. I have given you the power to criticize me. In doing so, I have another comment in the YouTube algorithm and another view from last week's video. Everybody wins here. Look, you're not going to change people's minds like that, but people are always going to think like that. Cats do it all the time. That dog is vexing me out, I'm going to scratch it. So why not try to use that same principle and persuade people? The magical bookshelf. Avoiding manipulation. Okay. Raise your hand or leave a comment if you do any sports, chess, or anything of a competitive nature. I think most people can agree with me when I say this. A lot of training, especially at higher levels, is based around what your opponent is going to do. Whether it's defending from that one technique, or playing around the Scotch opening, or haha, I knew you were gonna do that. Or even if you're chaining attacks, so like one skill move fails, I'm going to try another one, aren't I? You are playing around your enemy, your opponent. So why do you think talking is any different? What Jay is trying to portray is that people are liars, people chat was. You need to learn how to find the facade. How do you know that what somebody is telling you is A, true, and B, they genuinely believe in it? Question everything that somebody tells you in a debate, especially if you yourself don't understand, and especially if you believe they are making it vague on purpose. What do you mean by that? What made you believe such an opinion? When did you hear about the facts? If your mum has 12 children and they are named January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November, then who is the 12th child? Questions like these will hopefully dig up any fallacies in the points being presented during the conversation. That wasn't so goddamn hard to read, now was it? Though, do not come into a conversation thinking that everyone is out to get you. You wouldn't think that your cat is doing so. Yes. Talk with your body. The eye intrigue. 3 words. Non-verbal communication. If you want to chat to someone, chances are they've already decided if they want to listen to you or not. Posture check. Is your back straighter than Alex Adams meeting his 3rd stepsister today? No? Unserious. Why should I believe in someone who looks like they don't even believe in themselves? Okay, fine. If you can't listen to yourself, then why don't you look like you're listening to me? First things first, my eyes are up here. They're not down in the comments. They're not on the suggested videos, which are on that side, actually. They're up here. Come on, imagine, guys, come on. Imagine I am in front of you. How would you act? Like, again, I'm in front of you. This, like, forget about the camera and the screen. I am in front of you, directly in front of you. How would you react? How would you show me that you are listening? Yeah, go on, you can nod your head in. Like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. You can say that, that's fine. And you can be intrigued by that question, like, yeah, I know, that's an interesting question, let me think about that. You can do that. Also works. But don't nod your head so fast. Do you know what I'm gonna say? Hey, go on, tell me what I was gonna say if you're gonna nod your head like this. Go on. Okay, fine. You can lift your head up. It's fine, I know you're probably like this now. You feel bad. It's okay, you can look up. I don't feel bad, I'm just Trying to make this a mental exercise. Good job! Right. Now, what we just discussed and what Heinrichs has just recommended, do that, but practice it on a real human being. Make them heed the lure and the ramp. As has been a common theme with this book, people don't want to do what you tell them to do, especially if it's some huge favor, right? So what you can do is break it down. There's so many examples of this from day to day, right? Like, the very idea of going to school every morning is just not one that you want to have. So what do? Okay, so first thing is you need to get out of bed, and then you need to make your breakfast, then you need to get dressed, then you need to brush your teeth. Those two last steps were interchangeable. After that, collect your stuff, go outside, go to school, study. After you break it down like that, you know what? It wasn't so bad, was it? And this works with people as well. Darren Brown's The Push is like the perfect example of this, although it is a little extreme. But assuming that that is not staged, which I don't think it is, if it's gonna work to that level, why can't it work for a simple favor that you yourself want someone to do? For example, let's say I want you to watch next week's video. The first part was pretty simple. Log on to YouTube. Okay, what YouTube videos do you want to watch? You want to watch a review? You want to watch some education? Hey, watch this guy Sammy G, see what if his video is any good. Oh, he recently uploaded it, let's see it. Now, this part is definitely the hardest part of the equation. Make it this far into the video, but you've done that, thank you very much. Now, watch this trailer for next week's video.
Fallen star of Valerion. The man in the mirror.
The only way that this conflict can stop is forming a summit of the Pentarchy.
Wow, your animation looks a lot better.
Fly, Zim! You can fly! That's fucking right. The Dragon Prince 2 is coming out next week. I am so excited to show you, because I can't even talk, I'm so excited. I put so much time and effort and planning into the script writing, the animation, the voice acting, and I am so happy with the finished product. Like, Dragon Prince 1, I didn't like it that much. But Dragon Prince 2, oh my god, like, you are gonna absolutely adore it. And finally, you're watching next week's video. And that's it. That is How to Argue with a Cat. My final thoughts, I've thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. I haven't had a lot of time to put it into practice, but I'm already seeing results. If I'm able to make my peers think better of me, or get another YouTube video out and people are engaged, then that is a win in my book. No pun intended. At only 125 pages, which is good because a lot of people use the excuse, I want to read a book, but I can't really read. This is a very easy read. It teaches you how to persuade. It teaches you social skills. This is the book for you. Final rating, 100 pages out of 125 pages. If you yourself want to express your creativity and you want to put your thoughts on pen and paper, subscribe to my YouTube channel and I show you how I do it. And join my Discord server where you can interact with my community. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and of course, make sure to view.